Hi, hello and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how to create a survey using Office 365 forms. If you go to the corner, click on from your email account, you will find access to all Office 365 applications. You need to go and choose forms. In this forms, to start a new survey, you click a new form. Forms will give you two tabs, one for questions, one for responses. You can check your responses later on. So starting a new survey, let's call it inequality at the workplace. Okay. And then you can provide description. So this survey asks your opinion about equality in your organization. Yeah. You can provide whatever description. You can also add an image. You can say about, let's say whatever. You can add the logo for the company. You can add whatever relevant images in relation to the topic. And then you can add a new section. So in section 1 you say, let's call it respondent background. And then you can ask, let's say, create first question saying state your gender, and then you can have the options here. So you can say male and female. Yeah. You can add whatever question relevant to your survey. You can also make it required. Let's say if gender is very important in your let's say survey, to see equality in relation to gender, race, ethnicity, disability, and so on, looking at the protected groups. So you say required. So in this case they cannot escape this question and they have to answer it. You can add another question here. You can add, let's say, another question. Let's say please select your age group, yeah. Here you could say from 18 to 25, and then you say from 26 to 40, and then you can add more option here. You could say from 41 to 60, and then you add another one saying over 60. Yeah. And then you can make this question required as well. Now after you finish working on respondent background, or let's say respondent profile, So we're looking at certain questions that will help you to control for let's say other factors you're going to investigate or variables in your survey. In relation, as I said, in relation to the topic, you don't have to add everything and ask everything as a background question. These background question or control variables should be relevant to the questions, what you're trying to control, what you're trying to check for inequality. In this case, you state them. As I said, if inequality in relation to gender, in this case, gender is very important. If inequality is in relation to age, in this case, age is very important. If inequality is in relation to educational background, or if it's inequality in relation to ethnicity, in this case you add that question. Now we can move on to add a new section. In this case we're trying to investigate, let's say now, how respondents can rate certain variables. In this case we look at for example whether they, for example, if you're talking about gender pay gap, in this case you have this question about let's say payment, or you say if it's in relation to recruitment, or if it's in relation to training and development, or if it's in relation to promotion. And then you provide here brief description. This section investigates any investigate the existence of gender pay gap, or whatever description you want to talk about. And then I'm going to add a question in here. I'm going to use Likert scale, so I can provide Likert scale, I can provide statements here, and I can provide the options here. So here I can add so all the time one, I would say strongly disagree, I'm saying here disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. And here we provide the statements. So here he's saying please rate the following, or you could say rate or evaluate, saying rate the following statements in relation to payment, or let's say pay rate if you want in your organization. And then you can provide statements saying male workers are getting paid, are getting a higher hourly rate than female workers. Or you could say things like you can provide one statement and provide another statement to measure the same thing if you want to verify if your if the respondent is answering the questions honestly, or if you want to provide different. I'm just providing something general, not based on any scales or any measures of certain factors, or let's say gender pay gap. Of course you can check journal articles to get into measures of relevant factors, but here I'm just showing you how to do it. So you can provide another statement saying men and women are paid the same for the same job. Getting paid same for the same job or position, and then they can rate the question, so they can select, yeah, and then you can add whatever sections in relation, and then you can provide another section maybe to check the performance, the impact of on the performance. Let's say performance, this section, investigate impact of gender pay gap on employees performance, and then you add one question saying you can add that as a Likert scale. You could say, as I said, please rate the following statements in relation to your performance, and then you say same thing as we did here. You could copy them, or you could have them from the previous question. As I said, you could say strongly dissatisfied, strongly satisfied, but here we're using strongly disagree and strongly agree. Yeah, so you can provide a statement. So here you could say first statement in relation to performance, I feel, let's say I'm not meeting my let's say targets. Yeah, yes, by doing that, in this case we can see the association between the control variables and here the Likert scale questions. Hope this is helpful, and thank you for watching the video. Hope it's beneficial to you. Thank you.